Hi guys, in this video I'll talk to you about changing the date field and the calendar defaults. So the standard or the default calendar that Tableau uses is called the standard Gregorian calendar. The Gregorian calendar, guys, starts with Sunday in the weekday, as a weekday. However, in most businesses and most organizations, they favor the use of the ISO 8601, which is the week-based calendar where the week starts on a Monday. So how do we change this? How do we switch from the standard Gregorian calendar to the ISO 8601? We do this by, here's a little bit of an explanation of the difference between both of them. We first go to the data on top on the toolbar, in the top toolbar, and scroll down to our data source, which is sample store superstore, and then scroll all the way down to date properties. Under date properties, you will have this dialog box where you can in fact use your default calendar, change it to ISO 8601 week based instead of the standard Gregorian calendar. You can also start your fiscal year from April if you are working here in Japan rather than January. The date format, you can also change the date format if you'd like to start with a day, month, year, or month, day, year, and so on. So this is where you can change any defaults around date calendar, fiscal year start, or date format. Doing this on Tableau online is slightly different, but we're using Tableau desktop. So this is the way that you do it. Well, some of the questions that might come is this question. Please take a moment, read the question, answer it, and get back to me. So pause the video. All right, lovely people. So the question is, if you change the default calendar for a data source to ISO 8601, week-based, what will it apply to? It will apply, of course, to all worksheets using the data source. All right. Use continuous date values and discrete date parts. So we already learned all about how to use them, the difference. One is organizing headers, one which is the discrete. One is creating an axis, which is a timeline, and these are certain examples here. So from the visualization, forget about looking at the shelf. From the visualization itself, I would like you now to get a little bit of training on if you are viewed, or if you are presented with a view without the shelves, and you will be asked questions, what created this axis here? So you need, and you will be given different, probably different alternatives, like, is it a discrete month? Is it a continuous month? Over here, July 2017, then 2018, 19, 20, 22, 2020, and so on. It seems like it is continuous because it is the month and the year, so it's continuous. Is that true? Well, there's no header also. Yes, it's true. Over here, ship date, there's a header, and mostly here is bars, and these are aggregation of a certain measure over parts of the month, different date parts, which is month. So that's true here. It is a discrete. All right, but there's still more that you need to know. For example, if you want to ask questions like, which month of the year typically has the most shipments, or which month has seen the most change in shipment? Which one do you choose? This is a question that I will leave it for you to play around now with the Tableau. So in this lesson, we'll have to expand the date part or date value and change the level of detail. So we're going to talk about level of detail within the date part, and also we're going to talk about using both date part and date value in the same view and sometimes in the same shelf. All right. So this is the little tips and tricks that I haven't talked about. I haven't had a chance to talk about in class. So stick around with me in this video to learn more on how to create this kind of views and what kind of questions these views could answer you. First of all, do not look at the shelves. Look, here's a header, and this is Jan, Feb. This is like a discrete month. Is that correct? Yes, month, discrete, because it's in blue. All right, I have a level of detail here. Why? Because I am presented with multiple timelines here. So this seems to be, the color, first of all, seems to be a gradual color. So this is an indication it is continuous, right? And seems like these may be the different months of different years. So over here you have the year, and it's in green, and it's dropped into the color. Yeah, so here you can see that it's a gradual. Perfect. So now I would like you to train a little bit on forgetting about looking at the shelves and the rows and all the elements that created the view, and try to analyze the view now visually. Okay, so we got that. So we're getting the level of detail here based on a continuous year format. In fact, even though this is an example given here in the slides, this is probably not the best choice that I will go for. I'd rather have this year in a different color, like blue, green, red, yellow, distinct color. So it's going to give me the same result. Let's check again. How do we reproduce and recreate this together? Let me show you in a demonstration what I mean by that. This is our superstore. Guys, I just changed the date here. The ship date should have this icon, which is a date type. So please make sure that this ship date is a date type. So to create a visualization, we start with the quantity, wasn't it? The order quantity, which is the measure first. And then we take the ship date and drop it there. The ship date here is on the year level of detail. Quantity here is a month. I need a month, but I want to get rid of these data panes. These lines that separates one from another. This creates a data pane. This is a bigger view, the date ship or the shipment date. And over here, this is the first data pane, and this is the level of detail. I don't want this level of detail, so I'm going to take it and drag it outside. Don't drag it into filters or pages. It will place it there. We drag it anywhere outside, either here in this blank area or either into any blank area outside the viz. So if this viz is stretched all the way into the view, then it's dragging it, dropping it here is a bad idea. Just drag it and drop it here. You see me all the time dragging and drop it here, right? So yeah, let's get rid of that. And let's see what happens. First of all, I would like to explore other things with you guys. Let's see what happens if we have a continuous and a discrete data fields together. Look at this. Isn't this interesting? Does this answer any question for me? For example, here I have the months, and here I have the different years. So instead of having all the years collapsing on one another, as we had here, do you see? Oh no, as we had, as we had here, you see what happens here. Over here, if I would like to put it in a very neat data panes, not data panes, panes in the view, then I can do that. Of course, here it seems like in our data set, different than the data set I'm using in the slides. This data set, guys, used in the slides, this data set, guys, has only one data point for January for 2019. We still don't have the data for 2019 and 2020. In any case, you can see how this changes the view. Can you actually start any aligning any data fields with a continuous data field and then a discrete? Can you do that? No, you can never do that, you see? You can never start with a measure, yeah, and then a discrete. This will never happen, yeah? All right, so in this view, back again to here, I have year, then I have month. Oh, what did I do? Okay, this is the view that we had. Now what happens if we drag this and drop it into color? When it's discrete, you can see that the color has the color of each timeline has a distinct or the line of each year has a distinct color. Yeah. So what happens if we change this to continuous? Here we go. Okay, does it make a difference if we change the year to the continuous, excuse me, on the shelf, and then drop it into the color shelf? I mean, let's get rid of this, Let's start with a shipment date again. Collapse, get rid of quarter. Excuse me. And over here, change to year as continuous. Do you see what happens? It flipped, switched the order automatically. Does it make any difference here? No, it's the same visualization that we just created earlier. Yeah, when we changed the date here to continuous. Right? Good. So we learned a lot here. We learned how to create level of detail. Level of detail is when you're adding this year as continuous to the color shelf. But when you're having year over here, then it's in measure. This is the idea. Let's put it in categories, in this discrete format. So when it's in a discrete format here, next to the measure capsule, what you get is you get a very neat, or neater, I would say, if you were more into seeing the trends. For example, you want to see the trend over different or recurring trend. Sorry, if you want to see a recurring trend or seasonality in different months, you can easily see that here, right? But if you want to see or compare specific values to one another, so you want to see if this year has more sales, January has more sales, which is the year 2018, compared to the other 2 years here. So you can easily put it in this view, in this arrangement. Yeah. So let's take a look back. Let's go back to the slide and take a look. So you can expand a date pot to add detail to your view. If you expand the date pot over here, you know what happens? There's an entry created already with the drilled down or the expanded or a date pot, and you can also collapse it. So you can collapse that, and we got rid of it. Yeah. Okay. So please follow through here and see what happens when you expand the date pot. There's an extra entry created, as you can see here. But what happens when you expand a date, let's say a date, so let's get rid of this. So this is a continuous now line of the order quantity over the shipment date. Yeah, so we can see that the year 2017 has the highest among all the years. All right, but in any case, what happens if we want to drill up and down? You see what happens here is in terms of weeks, there is no extra entry created. Yeah, so here's drilling farther into days. Yeah, good. Now look into that. You got rid of the quarter. We've done that earlier, and then you will be left up with year. Oh, this is different thing. Maybe this is it the drop? No, move date pots to enable different analysis. Okay, we've done that earlier. So this is showing you how you can have different panes. You know, so having different pots, different date pots aligned into the same shelf creates different panes into the view. Yeah, and look at the quantity here. Quantity is over days, right? Yeah, day, ship date, and you see the day is from 1 all the way to 31. You see that? Yep. All right, and this is what we've done earlier together. So if you want to put it in a neater form, they have a different data set, so their data is up to date 2020. Mine is up to 2019. All right. 2019, maybe January. All right, let's see. To change the view so that each pane is a month and each pane shows the change in the month over years. So this is kind of question. Do it yourself. So this is the question. Have it that the month that you have each pane here is a month. So if it's a pane, then it's discrete here. Yeah. So this is a discrete month, and each pane shows the change in the month over years. So you will have here over the years. So as you can see, this is how you recreate this. What happens if you get the years as a measure versus the year as a category? Does it make any difference? So let's recreate this together. So over here I have the order quantity, and then I will have the year here as a discrete. Then I will have the year as let's remove this, as a month. So this is what happens, but in fact I want the panes here. I want the panes here to be in terms of a month as requested, and then I want to see the years continuously. Okay, but what happens if I just put the year here as continuous? You see, nothing much different. It's just that the whole view has kind of like compressed together so that it shows the whole thing. But looking deep inside, it is the same. You see, it's just that when it's category wise, first of all, it allows you to scroll because these considered as categories, so you can scroll. But when you're putting it as a continuous over here, kind of compressed all together to show the whole trend over time, or to show the behavior, let's say, over that range of time. Okay, good. This is one observation. Very good. Second observation, lovely people. Let's put it back into categories over here, or into discrete over here. Let's see what happens if I would like to, for example, change the order here. So I'm putting different orders. Look what happens once I change the order. First of all, automatically went into bar. If I want to change that into, if I want to change that into bars anyway, because it is into discrete and maybe bars make more sense, which is true actually, you can put it into bars by changing the marks. Regardless, I just wanted to show you how you can actually here start changing the order manually. Yeah, and you can see that there is a sorting icon here because you've changed the order. All right, what happens if this is in fact switched back to a year as continuous? And let's put it as a line, because line makes more sense when it's continuous. See, it starts from 2000 and let's put it stretch it so that you can see, and now you can drag the scroll, I mean. So here the order again has a chronological order. The axes will have a chronological, or will follow a chronological order. So we're starting from 2016, 17, 18, all the way to 2019. Can we change? Can we drag? No, we can't. So this is one of the things that I just wanted to get your attention to. And please follow the instructions here and see what kind of things that, yeah, you can also drag based on, though you can drag based on the data, the month pane here, because this is, in fact, you see, this pane is discrete, so you can actually change the order. Yeah, so while you can change the order here of these elements here, the year, because they are in continuous, but these panes are created because there's continuous discrete date field, and you can change the order automatically. And once you change the order automatically, you will be presented with this lovely lines kind of icon telling you that there's a certain automatic or a manual rather sorting happening. All right, let's go over the knowledge check. Please take a look, pause the video, answer, and get back to me. Okay, the question is, on columns or rows, when expanding a date field that is a discrete date field, how many levels of detail for the field can you include in the view? Of course, I can include in the view as many levels of details as there are of the date field in the date source, in the data source. This will be the answer, the correct answer here. All right, so let's show the change over a continuous range of time. I think I've done this already with you. Excuse me, yeah, I've done this with you guys. So I've done this activity with you. Read through it and redo it on your own. Please follow through and read exactly what is on the slides. I'm sorry, I'm gonna fix this right away. Instead of creating a new entry for each date value, a different level of detail here will be created when you are actually expanding the continuous date value. So I talked about this right now. So this is the end of this video. Please go over some of the let's go over this knowledge check again. Select the best answer for the following. On columns or rows, when expanding a date field that is continuous date field, how many levels of detail for the field can you include in the view? So does it make any difference when it's a continuous date field? Like how many levels of detail? I don't think so. It doesn't. So it will be as many levels of detail as there is in the data source. So this is the correct answer, lovely people, okay? Another knowledge check, let's go over it. This is a view that will be given to you. Now to build this view with quarter on the axes and weekday on the panes, here weekday on the panes, these little like pockets in the view, we call them panes, not the data pane in the interface. We're talking here about these little buckets bordered by these gray, light gray lines. So these are here weekday for a discrete, yeah, seems to be, and here is a quarter of ship date, and this seems to be ranging from 2018 to 2020, 2018, 2020, 2018, 2020, and it's in a line format. Okay. How would these two date fields be arranged on the columns shelf? Okay, so how do we arrange this in the columns shelf? First of all, we know that measure can never, ever, ever, ever come before discrete. This is one of the things that we could use for eliminating any answers. So any of the answers that starts with continuous date value before, this could never happen, that a continuous can come before a discrete, right? We have seen that we can't. So unless it is a continuous and a continuous. So continuous before discrete, this we eliminated, right? So continuous before continuous, it could happen. So let's consider it. Okay, so this by elimination, we get rid of that. Let's read. Or take a moment, pause the video, take a moment to answer this question and get back to me. Okay, lovely people. So let's take a look. Discrete date part, quarter, before continuous date value weekday. That is absolutely not true. First of all, because weekday here is slicing the pane or defining the pane in the view, so it's always going to be a discrete. Discrete date part weekday before continuous date value quarter. I would love to consider that because I can see 2018, 2020, but let's check. Continuous date value weekday before continuous date value quarter. Is that correct? Weekday is not continuous because as you can see here, weekday is, one of them should be, first of all, let's just be logical from the highest level. The highest level of logic says that there's a ship date as a header. So one of them should be discrete. So this is by elimination. We're going to just get rid of the last option as well. So ship date here is a header. This means that one of them must happen or must be a discrete. So continuous and continuous doesn't work out, and this doesn't work out. So either this and this, and this is the right answer, isn't it? This is the correct answer. All right. This is about doing more analysis with color and filters. Maybe I'll just start this with the next video. This video is quite long so far. So I'll see you in the next video, guys.